What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark, back to TheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and the Oscar nominations came out. I didn't do a live reaction video, but I'm reacting to it now. So what are my thoughts? I'm going to give you a straight face so you don't know how I feel about them. Try to guess how I feel about them. I'm mixed. I actually did pretty well in terms of predictions. Um, there's some stuff that I'm pretty proud about because I went against the grain in certain areas and I ended up being right. Um, and some things I should have picked up on more. So let's get into it. Let's dive in, shall we? First of all, category I swept. Most people swept. Let's all pat ourselves on the back for animated feature. Like, we nailed that one this year. The only people who lost were the people who were like I said, I was like, if you want to swing for Moana 2, I think maybe that's in sixth. If you tried to swing for Transformers 1, that was ill-advised, but you go, and I didn't acknowledge that any of the other films even had remotely a shot. So I had the 5. Yay. Also, I have to say, I have to pause. So I watched this through Good Morning America because it was the first thing that popped up on my thing was ABC. I was thinking about watching like a live stream from another YouTuber. I was at work. So I wasn't going to do like a live stream. So timing, right? Like you are where you are at the time. But yeah, so the ABC thing popped up and it took me to Good Morning America. And I don't know who the fuck those people are, but those are the dumbest Oscar experts. Like listening to them like react to things was like, I was like, who are you? How did you get this job? They're like, I'm really surprised Ariana Grande got in there. She was like on the fence. I was like, Ariana Grande was when? When was Ariana? She was on the fence like a year ago. She's pretty much been considered a front runner for the award this whole time. Like it's been between her and Zoe. Like everyone agrees on that. Who the fuck are you? So yeah, these people with their that were on there were just, they were just cracking me up. Um, I also thought it was really funny because I ended up watching the nightly news, a little bit of it with David Muir, he was talking and he did a little like Oscars thing and they made sure to give the shout out to Inside Out too. And I was like, of course they do from our parent company Disney. I'm like, yeah, man, it got one nomination for animated feature. It got nominated where it was supposed to be nominated. And I love how also they brought up the fact they're like, no, the number one animated, the top grossing animated film of all time. What does that have to do with the Oscars? What are we doing here, ABC? Try, is Disney trying to use the Oscars to like remind people how awesome they are? Anyway, yeah, I just those two, they didn't even say what their credentials were that I picked up on, like from blank. You know, there's one of them from Variety, the other one from Hollywood. I don't know. They just seemed happy to be on Good Morning America. And they were like, we will say whatever dumb shit you want us to say. Oh my God. I could do that too. Let me audition right now. Let's pretend. Somebody asked me a question. So what do you think about the Oscars? Oh my God. I am so excited to see the people this year nominated. Like, there were films in 2024, and then there were films. Am I right? Am I right? I am excited for this morning. Thank you. Fuck. Anyway, I'm done with that. But that was the worst part, was listening to them react. Every time they would cut to those two, I was just like, Jesus. They would say like really obvious things. Anyway, after making my way through that, so documentary feature. I would say the snub here is Daughters, although I didn't get this one completely right. The two that I would have said were locks were No Other Land and Sugarcane, and they both got in. So that didn't surprise me. But I kind of bet against Black Box Diaries. I did have soundtrack to a coup d'etat. I went 3 for 5 here. I did not pick up Black Box Diaries. and I probably should have. It had enough precursor awards that I should have. I thought the spoiler was going to be Porcelain War. And it ended up that both Porcelain and Black Box Diaries made it in over Daughters and what was the other film I had? That's something else. Anyway, it didn't get nominated, so it doesn't matter anymore. The film ceases to matter uh, to society. But um, yeah, I was kind of thinking, oh, Dahomey. Yeah, I thought I had Dahomey and Daughters, and then they went with Black Box Diaries and Porcelain War, and I had a feeling Porcelain War. I just I was like, I don't know, Daughters feels like it has the steam that it needs, and Dahomey feels like the kind of thing they would go for. But then they went for Black Box Diaries, which I was worried. I was like, we're a little bit past our Me Too movement here. I don't know if you can excite enough people to get a nomination. And then also, uh, Porcelain War was the one that was bothering me. Like, I should have had that. I should have swapped it for Dahomey or something like that. I was feeling Porcelain War and I just left it out. So it was the one that I acknowledged. I thought would spoil, but I should have. I didn't feel that strong about Dahomey. I just anyway. International feature. They snubbed Kneecap, which was kind of unexpected considering how well it just did at BAFTAs. I kind of thought for sure a movie that sort of embraces the uniqueness of keeping a language alive would have made it into the race over a movie that has no dialogue. But, that's just me. That's crazy old me. I thought Flow wasn't going to get in here because it, again, has no language. There's nothing about Flow that says this is from a country. You know, it's not even dubbed. Like, it's not even something like when like a Miyazaki movie comes out where you could say, well, it's been dubbed into English, so it's lost some of so it's, I don't know. Anime is representative of Japan. Is this art form representative of what is it? Is it Latvia? Seriously, I forgot because I think it's also like a French co-production, but obviously France couldn't submit it because Emilia Perez was their submission. I think this is from Latvia. Anyway, but other than that, I had Emilia Perez. I had Seed Sacred Fig. I had The Girl with the Needle. And I had I'm Still Here. So I went 4 for 5 in this category, and I'm not mad because I never was going to predict Flow. It doesn't it doesn't have to get nominated in both animated and international. It just doesn't make sense. It's the nomination that just doesn't make sense here when you have films. There were films beyond Kneecap that could have easily. There were strong choices that just weren't here. But yeah, I thought for sure Kneecap was going to be in, but guess not. Anyway, documentary. I did documentary, I did international, and I did animated. So those are those 3 categories. Song was fucked. Now I technically got 3 of them correct because I nailed both Emilia Perez songs, and I was one of the few people who predicted Elton John, Never Too Late. I was like, there's no way they're passing on that. He's the Diane of the season, but I really didn't think that Tyler Perry movie would make it in. I thought I saw people were predicting that on Song. I was like, they're not gonna pick it. It's still from a Tyler Perry movie, like, yeah, you know. But I guess they picked it, and they picked Sing Sing, which I was predicting just to be snubbed across the board. Honestly, though, if I wasn't trying to be bold with Sing Sing, I would have put Sing Singing over what I did put in, which was Compress Repress. So I would have had Sing Sing if I wasn't trying to predict a broad snub. Like, it was so, like, A24's botching of the release was so bad that it just didn't get anything. Which was the bold choice that I made, that's on me. But honestly, yeah, I would have had Like a Burden over Compress Repress. So I was being stupid, but I never would have put in the Tyler Perry song. I was always going to have that Wild Robot song in there along with Like a Bird. So I just decided at the last moment to predict that Sing Sing was going to be snubbed and people were going to lose their fucking minds. And I put in compressed regress. I was never going to touch that Tyler Perry song. I was always going to miss one in this category. That's fine. Whatever. Score is weird and I hate it because I completely disagree with Wicked being here. I think based on the rules of the Academy and original score, and I hate the fact that we lost like Challengers, got no nominations because fucking Wicked is here. Like, that bullshit. I don't even want to talk about this category. I'm mad at it. I'm mad at the category because of its inclusion of Wicked in the same year in which they declared that Dune was not. It was too hard to distinguish that there was new music in Dune, but it was not too hard for people to distinguish new music in Wicked. I call bullshit. I've seen Wicked a billion times. They connected some stuff, but they used themes that were previously already there. So I don't understand the decision to include Wicked, but not, and I never have. If they had included Dune and not excluded it, I would have less of a problem. Yes, I would. If everybody was fair game and they weren't picking and choosing and being little bitches, I would not be here saying that Wicked is bullshit. But Wicked is bullshit because they actually picked and looked at Dune and said, you, no. Wicked, yes. And that is bullshit. That's favoritism. So, moving away from score, because I hated it. A couple things that I loved happened in visual effects. One of them is that Better Man actually became an Oscar nominee. God, that movie needs life. They make like $1 million opening weekend from over like 2,000 screens. That movie's really good. You should see it. So I fully support that nomination. I'm really happy that happened for Better Man. I didn't pick it because I thought nobody had seen Better Man. I was worried that nobody was watching it. So I think I had like Twisters or something else in there. But yeah, that's fine. Makeup, they left out Beetlejuice for Emilio Perez. That was kind of surprising. I kind of basically had everything else. Like I did not put Maria in. I really thought they just weren't gonna. I thought that movie just wasn't going anywhere. So I didn't have it in cinematography. A lot of people did because that guy was nominated last year for El Conde. And there's always that like random nomination that's been happening from Netflix. Like before that was Bardot, where there's one film. And I was like, but Maria is really running an Angelina Jolie campaign, not really a cinematography campaign. You know, they ended up getting a cinematography campaign, but no Angelina Jolie. Sorry, Angie. Screenplay. I think I got all of the originals. I went perfect for original. Adapted, I wasn't predicting Sing Sing. So I had Pedro Almodovar for The Room Next Door. I thought his name was going to matter to them. I thought they were going to vote for Pedro and it was going to be a surprise. And I thought I was trying to predict snubs and surprises, but it ended up being pretty basic in Adapted. It was a pretty safe bet. I shouldn't have bet against Sing Sing completely. I should have tried to figure out where it was going to be, is the thing. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, September 5 still got nominated. Nickel Boys still got nominated. Sing Sing, Real Pain. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything got in. They just didn't all get into Best Picture. So, I 100% guessed supporting actress correctly. Got all 5 of those nominees, including Monica Barbaro, who I predicted back in November, before anybody else was predicting Monica Barbaro. Like, I had her a long time ago. You can go back and watch my back and forth with Alex Howard, and I had Monica Barbaro in there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Like, I like that I called it so many months ago, and then I just stood by it. I was like, yeah, you know what? I called it. Let's own that. I did that 2 months ago before people started talking, before she got a SAG nomination. I like it. We're doing it. So, paid off. Also, supporting actor, I got all 5 of those. I correctly predicted. I loved that the people on Good Morning America were surprised that Denzel got snubbed. I was like, who are you? Who are you people? Who do you work for? Um, anyway, so yeah, got all five of those. Actress, I admitted in my prediction, I said I think it's between Marianne Jean-Baptiste and Fernanda Torres. And I picked Marianne Jean-Baptiste. I just thought at the end of the day, I wasn't sure that I'm Still Here had enough of a presence. And I was like, if you just watch Hard Truths, all you have to do, and then you'd vote for Marianne. It's like, I did not predict Pamela. I said they were going to gatekeep it from her. I know some people were trying to scramble at the last minute and be like, it's going to be Pamela Anderson. It's never going to be Pamela Anderson. They were going to gatekeep that from her. I mean, I think I mentioned something about how I could see it because of how they did the Ana de Armas for Blonde. Like that was a nomination that saw coming, but Ana had more of a footing in Hollywood in like other roles before she got that nomination. Pamela just kind of went straight from I used to do barbed wire and now I'm acting. And I thought it's like Simon Rex. Like Simon Rex didn't get in for Red Rocket. So congratulations, you can walk now, but we need you to walk for a few more films before we feel comfortable nominating you. So yeah, no nominations for Last Showgirl. I kind of knew the Jamie Lee Curtis thing wasn't going to happen. And it didn't. And I knew they finally nominated Isabella Rossellini. I was happy about that. We did nominate our first transgender actress with Carla Sofia Gascon. Originally, a long time ago, I was trying to figure out, because I had a feeling, and this was back when Angelina Jolie was still in the race, I was like, one of these two is not going to make the race. And that was when I thought Angie had a better chance, and I was saying Carla would be snubbed. Then I switched it later on, figuring out, obviously, it's Angelina who's going to be snubbed. So, yeah, no Angie, no Nicole, no Kate. All those people are all out. But sorry, Marianne Jean-Baptiste, nobody wants your movie. Bleecker. We're going to have the same debate about studios next year. With anytime somebody comes out of a Bleecker Street movie, we're going to be like, it's Bleecker Street. They're not going to get the film in. That's going to be a recurring thing. That's Bleecker. Because honestly, Fernanda Torres is in a Sony Pictures Classics movie. Studios matter, guys. I mean, Mubi broke in with The Substance, and maybe they'll start doing new things. Maybe they'll be able to mount campaigns. By the way, Demi Moore got in. I don't know if you noticed, but it happened. They finally nominated a horror movie. They nominated a performance. It all happened. Everybody thought it was too... In the beginning, yes. In the beginning, I was like, they're not going to do it. Because you don't trust the Oscars with a horror movie. Like, they didn't go with Hugh Grant. Nosferatu did pick up a couple tech nominations, so technically they have two horror movies in there, and the third with Alien Romulus and visual effects. So, I mean, it's present, but, I was not going to originally say, yeah, that movie makes... But then I said she needs to basically get in everywhere. It needs to be so ubiquitous that, like, it feels like, how can you not, And then she got the benefit of the Golden Globe speech. The awards voting was pushed back. So, and she's the only one who has really been able to make a speech. So, of course, yeah, she got in. And her film has benefited from it. Powered off of her performance. Corley Farjad got into screenplay and director. Great for her, absolutely deserves it. So The Substance did really well. Multiple nominations, not just Demi Moore. So I cannot wait. I love watching FYC on Perry Nemirov's channel, and I can't wait to see Jeff Snyder's reaction, because he predicted the snub on The Substance. I mean, I guess I did the same thing for Sing Sing, but he stuck with his. I months ago would not have predicted a snub for Sing Sing. I just saw it kind of dwindling. And I was like, is Sing Sing on the fringe? Like, where is it going? So I was worried that Sing Sing was going to be left out. But I was wrong. It was mostly left out, though. 3 nominations is not Let's be honest. Clarence Macklin didn't get in. It didn't get a picture nomination. And this was a film that, if you go back and look at everybody's early Oscar predictions when they start doing it like March and April, Sing Sing was at like the top of the list for everyone. And then it was like at the top of the list for months. And then the release happened. And then people were like, where is this movie? What is happening? And then it started to slide. So A24 did botch the release. And they're lucky that they still got 3 nominations out of that movie. So yeah, I got 4 out of 5, but I also acknowledged that it could be Fernando Torres. So they didn't completely swing with somebody out of fucking nowhere. You know, like, oh, and in the 5th spot we've got, oh, look, it's Tilda Swinton for The Room Next Door. She happened after all. Anyway, actor, I technically, what I missed was, because I didn't predict Coleman and I had Daniel, I had both Sebastian and Daniel in here. I did predict Sebastian because I predicted Sebastian and Daniel, but I thought Coleman would be snubbed. So yeah, I'm happy about that. I thought they were going to go for it for Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. We have enough international voters to carry these nominees that if just enough domestic people vote, it'll pull them in. But sorry, Daniel, you gave a great performance, but you're gonna have to come back another year. Also, Hugh Grant's gonna keep trying to swing in. And supporting actor, of course, we have the Apprentice boys going against each other, Kieran and Jeremy. That's fun. I kind of saw that when it was maybe going to happen, and I thought that would be fun if it did. And it is still fun to see that happening. Director, somebody I think tried, somebody was upset about the Edward Berger snub, and I got a comment on a video from my Oscar predictions for the year All Quiet, for my director predictions for that year, and it was about Edward Berger, and I was like, dude, that's 2 years ago. Why are you complaining about Edward Berger on a video from 2 years ago? I put the math together eventually. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, all right, I see. You're confused. So yeah, I had Edward Berger, but I would have said he's in the 3 and 4 spot. Him and Jacques Audiard were 3 and 4 for me, but so I'm a little surprised. But I mean, A Complete Unknown was overperforming, which is one of the reasons why I left Monica Barbaro in there and predicted in some other categories, because I could tell that it had forward momentum to it, which is one of the things I didn't see for Sing Sing and some other movies, is I didn't see forward momentum. So Sing Sing not getting into PGA is not good. So yeah, trying to read tea leaves is really hard, but I did put in John M. Chu over Coralie Farjah because I thought I thought Wicked was also just going to steamroll its way. But I knew Coralie was the alternate there. I knew she was. I'm just surprised that we went for Complete Unknown and Edward Berger's just completely out. That probably that's one of the bigger surprises for me. And I never would have predicted that in a million years. So that was totally off my radar. And Pitcher, even though he got the DGA, by the way, which he did get. So I shouldn't completely have snubbed it. But the funny thing is, it just doesn't feel like the kind of thing they would nominate. They tend to nominate auteurs, people with really distinct styles. That's not definitive there. And it would have made more sense for them to swing in another international nominee, because they seem to keep nominating international films. It would have been less surprising if, I don't know who directed I'm Still Here, but it would have been less surprising if that person had made it in. Because I'd be like, well, there's their random international nominee, like they've done previously with films like Cold War, but anyway, Pitcher, yeah, of course everybody was surprised by I'm Still Here. No one had it. They're lying. No one had the I'm Still Here in picture. Because if anybody was trying to predict two internationals, they were trying to predict All We Imagine Is Light, not I'm Still Here. There were maybe a few people who were trying to still say Seed of the Sacred Thing was happening. No one had I'm Still Here. Um, so yeah, that's a big surprise. That's overclocking I'm Still Here, and at the expense of September 5, A Real Pain and Sing Sing, which did not get nominations. I did correctly predict 9 out of 10 because I had Nickel Boys, and I didn't give up on the substance. But yeah, I had September 5 over I'm Still Here because I went with one PGA nominee and it spread out the studios. That was my thought. But also, arguably, this still spreads out the studios because I'm Still Here is the only nominated film from Sony Pictures Classics. So I'm still validated in the reasons why I picked Nickel Boys and um, September 5 instead of Real Pain or Sing Sing was that Real Pain and Sing Sing both were already represented in their studios and were the seconds of those studios. It was the second A24 film and the second Fox Searchlight title. So Sony Pictures Classics does not have another title. Neither did Amazon, which is why I kept Nickel Boys in there in Amazon MGM. So it's spread out. They spread the love. Anyway, that's it. I don't know if I have any other grand thoughts. I'm very sad Danielle Detweiler once again did not get nominated for the piano lesson, but I knew it was going to happen. Like, I didn't predict her. I'm just upset about it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how many times does she have to be the best thing about a movie and then she can't get in? Like, is this going to be her life where she's constantly in movies that people don't like, but they like her in them? And then she can never get nominated. And people are just like, her whole career is just like, wow, Danielle Detweiler is great. She keeps coming really close to an Oscar nomination. Unfortunately, the movie wasn't good. So, I don't know. But, well, the big lesson here as a blind film critic is fuck you, Netflix, because now we have 9 out of 10 films have audio description, and Netflix, of all fucking people, is the one son of a bitch bastard that has not provided audio description, English audio description for their movie. Emilia Perez is the one that's lacking it. Get the fuck on it. Get on that shit. You mounted an Oscar campaign, you spent the money on it, and now you're going to try to raise everybody's rates. You can pay for audio description for fucking Emilia Perez. So put that shit on there. So make that film accessible. We had 10 films last year that were accessible, even with 2 international nominees. This is why this is bullshit. Is because last year we had Anatomy of a Fall from Neon and Zone of Interest from A24. Both of those films have audio description. Netflix can't bother to do it for Emilia Perez with all of their money that they claim to, need from us. I call bullshit. So, Netflix is the loser of the day in my book, even though Emilia Perez is now the most nominated film. It's also the least accessible film of the year. So, congratulations on fucking over the blind and low vision community. How does that feel, Netflix? How do you feel now? Yeah, I was going to always call you out at the end of this video for people who stayed long enough to hear it. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll continue to bitch about Netflix, and I'll see you guys on the other side.